kingdom shrouded in shadows and ruled by the iron fist of King Valdric, Lady Selene, a noble woman of unparalleled intellect, secretly plotted against the tyrant. Raised in the lap of luxury, she witnessed firsthand the king's cruelty and the suffering of his people, unlike many Selenians in power. She strategized her plans were as intricate as the kingdom's labyrinth and corridors, her every move calculated to destabilize Valdric's reign. Meanwhile, Elric, the shadow thief, a phantom in the night, was a legend whispered in hushed tones. He was known for his daring heists. From the opulent mansions of the rich, his loot mysteriously appearing in the destitute corners of the city. His identity remained a mystery. His movements as silent as the fall of dust in the dead of night. Unbeknownst to the kingdom, Elric and Selene were allies. Their paths, though seemingly desperate, converged. In their shed go the downfall of King Valdric. Reeve Garrick, the king's most relentless hunter, a towering figure scarred by countless battles, was Valdric's loyal hound. He was assigned to track down Elric, a task he pursued with grim determination, his every step echoing the king's wrath. One moonless night, Selene's network of informants alerted her to a secret meeting between Valdric and a foreign power, a meeting that threatened to plunge the kingdom into an even darker era. She knew she needed Elric's help to infiltrate the meeting and expose Valdric's treachery under the cover of darkness. I love you so much. The king plans to sell the kingdom's resources to a foreign power. Selene revealed, and we must stop him. I love you. I'll get in, but I'll need a distraction. Their plan was audacious. A delicate dance on the edge of a precipice. Elric, using his skills to create a diversion, drew Reeve, Garrick and his man away from the king's fortress. While the kingdom's elite were distracted by the chaos, Selene infiltrated the meeting, her presence undetected. She managed to steal the documents that exposed Valdric. If you love me. With the evidence in hand, Selene and Elric orchestrated a public revelation, exposing Valdric's treachery to the people. The kingdom erupted in revolt, and Valdric's reign of terror ended as swiftly as it began. Elric, once a phantom in the night, became a symbol of hope. And Selene, the noblewoman who dared to defy the crown, stepped into the light, shaping a new era of justice and prosperity. In the kingdom of Viridia, where opulence masked the festering corruption, Elric the Shadow Thief was a whisper in the wind, a legend etched in the shadows. His nimble fingers plucked jewels from the coffers of the wealthy, leaving behind only a calling card, a single obsidian feather, and distributing his bounty to the starving masses. Lady Selene, a noble woman with a conscience as sharp as her wit, secretly aided Elric, providing information and safe houses. Their partnership was a delicate dance of risk and reward, a silent rebellion against the iron fist of King Valdric. Valdric, a man whose cruelty was only surpassed by his greed, ruled Viridia with an icy grip, his his lavish palace stood in stark contrast to the crumbling hovels surrounding it, a symbol of the kingdom's deep inequality. Unbeknownst to most, Valdric harbored a dark secret, a hidden chamber beneath the palace, where he performed forbidden alchemical experiments, seeking immortality. Elric's latest heist leading him to this chamber. He had intended to steal only a few artifacts, but what he found instead changed everything. The chamber held not only alchemical equipment, but also a series of journals detailing Valdric's experiments. Experiments that involved sacrificing innocent people to fuel his dark ambitions. A chilling realization dawned on Elric. His own birthmark, a strange swirling obsidian pattern, was identical to the markings found on the victims' corpses in the journal. I love you. I don't know. A conspiracy that made him not just a thief, but a potential weapon. I love you. A man whose loyalty to Valdric was absolute. Wow. Not just for the stolen artifacts, but to prove his own unwavering loyalty to the king. The hunt intensified, turning Viridius' shadowy alleys into a deadly game of cat and mouse. Elric, now burdened by the weight of his discovery, found himself at a crossroads. He could continue his life as a shadow, a thief fighting against injustice, or he could confront Valdric, revealing the king's heinous crimes, and risking not only his own life, but the lives of those he had sworn to protect. With Lady Selene by his side, Elric decided to act. He used his knowledge of the palace, gained from his previous heists, to infiltrate Valdric's inner circle, gathering evidence and rallying support among the disillusioned nobles. The final confrontation took place in the throne room, a scene of dramatic tension. Garrick and his men surrounded Elric, but Selene, using her influence, created a diversion, giving Elric the opportunity to expose Valdric's crimes. In the sprawling cyberpunk metropolis of Neo-Kyoto, where towering skyscrapers pierced the smog-choked sky, Nyx was a legend known only as the Sky Pirate. She commanded a sleek, customized starship called the Nightingale. Her targets the opulent airships of the Omnicorp, the city's ruthless corporate overlords. Nyx wasn't driven by greed, but by a fierce compassion for the downtrodden citizens. I love you. Every heist, every daring maneuver through Neo-Kyoto's air traffic control systems provided vital supplies, medicine, food, and technology. To those forgotten by the ruling elite, I love you. Through a treacherous storm of corporate drones, Nyx hijacked a particularly large Omnicorp transport. Inside, amongst crates of luxury goods and experimental weaponry, she founded a data chip marked with the highest security classification. Her initial plan was to simply secure the usual supplies, but curiosity got the better of her. She downloaded the data, finding evidence of a massive conspiracy. Omnicorp was systematically poisoning the city's water supply, slowly weakening its citizens to maintain control. I love you. This wasn't just corporate greed. This was genocide. Nyx knew. Revealing this information would make her the city's most wanted criminal. But the potential consequences of silence were far worse. She immediately contacted her network. Within the underground, a group of hackers, engineers, and activists working tirelessly to expose Omnicorp's crimes. They agreed to help disseminate the information anonymously across the city's encrypted networks. The Omnicorp security forces were relentless. Within hours, the Nightingale was surrounded. Nick's a master pilot. I love you. Weaving through the skyscrapers and dodging laser fire. Her skills were unmatched, honed by years of navigating the treacherous skies of Neo-Kyoto, but she knew she couldn't outrun them forever. She decided to use the data chip as a bargaining chip, sending encrypted messages to Omnicorp CEO, demanding a public apology and a promise to clean up the water supply. Her actions were a gamut, a desperate attempt to force Omnicorp into compliance. The city held its breath as the standoff unfolded, the fate of Neo-Kyoto hanging in the balance. I love you. Played her hand expertly. I love you leaked evidence from her allies, soon overwhelmed the corporate propaganda machine. The truth was out, the public outcry was immense. Omnicorp was forced to back down, to admit their crimes, and to begin cleaning the water supply next. The Sky Pirate had won though, now a fugitive. She remained a symbol of hope and rebellion. For the oppressed people of Neo-Kyoto, her legend growing larger with each passing day.